Welcome back to another episode of the Crunch Time podcast where you know we're going to come through in the clutch. Today we're going to be covering our predictions on the MLB standings as well as our thoughts on if the MLB should ban the shift as well as having a universal DH.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Riverside the Great here for episode 2 with TC. And yeah, pretty excited to get into this here MLB season.
I know I've been trying to get back into it. I haven't been following the league the past few seasons, so I don't know. I started the fantasy baseball too, just so I can relearn some of the players. It's been a while. It feels like there's a whole new wave of players in the league that I just never heard of.
I'm a casual. I'll say it. I'm a casual. I know players. I know Pirates. I'll tell you that. But besides that, I mean, hey, I don't know. You see my guy behind me, Trevor Bauer? That's my guy.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I feel like he's on the Pirates. He's not though, sadly. So first up, I guess I don't know how you started your standings, but I started mine with the AL East. We can start with any division that you want to talk about first.
Yeah, I say we go in that order. But actually, for mine, I just picked a winner for each one and then maybe a wild card.
Oh yeah,
I didn't rank all 5.
Okay. Yeah, I just briefly put a little note for each team, that's all. So yeah, any way you want to go about this, we can do it. I had the Yankees in first. I don't know if
Yep, I had that too, actually.
I
think that the only challengers in that division to the Yankees are going to be possibly the Blue Jays and maybe the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look right now, Baltimore is on top, but
yeah, that was because we're not going to talk about how they swept the Red Sox. I think that honestly, the Yankees, it just truly depends on if players like Judge and Stanton can be healthy, if they're going to make an actual run in the playoffs. And I think if their big hitters are out, they're gonna have to rely on their rotation. I don't think their rotation is solid. They got Garrett Cole and Corey Kluber, but outside of that, I don't think their rotation is they should. I don't know, have to rely on them to. It's always been their lineup that's been very good. But you're right.
I have a question for you about the Yankees.
Hey, what's up?
What happened to that Tanaka dude?
Oh, didn't he? I think didn't he go over to play in Japan or something?
Did he actually?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I think he's playing elsewhere now. Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
I didn't know
that. He's probably only 30, 31. I remember he was a highly touted prospect that everyone wanted. And the Yankees him. I had also in this division the Blue Jays, Rays, and Red Sox being potential wildcard teams. I know the Red Sox is a little bit out there, but hey, they're my team.
Biased.
It is a little biased, but hear me out. My thought is this. It kind of depends on the rest of the American League and how good they end up being. Because I think the Blue Jays are locked to be a wild card in my opinion. And the Rays, I was looking at their team today. I don't know if they're just a solid team, but they don't really have a standout. And it's I don't know. I think they're gonna need to ride some of the postseason magic from last season if they want to make it again. But I just think if the Rays kind of don't pan out this season, that's where I think the Red Sox will come in and maybe squeak in that final wild card spot too. So I don't know how many playoff teams there's going to be either. So that's why I did my standings and I wrote I did 7 teams per league that I think is probably going to make the playoffs.
I kind of agree with you on the Red Sox though. Anything's possible. But I'll tell you who I'm rooting for is Tampa. They got all the former Pirates down there.
Oh yeah, who do they have? Was it
their ace?
I know
their ace is Glass now, and then they have Meadows.
Yeah, and then Archer.
And then Shane Baz should be coming to the big leagues pretty soon too. He was the 3rd guy in the Archer trade.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That trade pisses me off to this day.
What, you wish you still had Archer?
We got rid of the GM who made that trade. No, I wish you still had Meadows and Glass now.
Oh yeah. They turned out to be very good on the Rays. Yeah, and then obviously at the bottom of the division, the Orioles.
Baltimore, but they're at the top right now.
Yeah, which is weird to see. It's good to see Trey Mancini back. He had
for sure.
Back, yeah. But yeah, I think there could literally be 3 playoff teams. Not that these teams are all good, but just because the way the rest of the American League, the rest of the teams are. So for AL Central, who do you have in first place?
I have the Minnesota Twins coming out on top, but I have the White Sox at a very close second because they had a huge offseason.
Yeah.
And also, their catcher is insane right now. He's batting 8 for 9 to start the year.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What's his name again?
Let me look. I'm on their roster right now.
I kept seeing like notes about him. They're like posts about him all over social media.
Yerman Mercedes. I'm sorry if I butchered that.
No, I heard him. Yeah, I watched this like clip of him. Just as he had 8 straight hits too to start off.
It's impressive.
This is the very beginning of his career too.
Yeah, I heard that.
Wow.
Might have to cop his rookie card. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's smart actually. I actually had the White Sox at the top of the division. I just saw like lots of young talent and a bright future, and I think the AL Central, in my opinion at least, is one of the weaker divisions. And I'm not taking away anything from the White Sox being first, but I just think I don't know. I think I agree that the Twins will be up there with them, but I think the Twins are similar to the Rays in the sense they don't have a standout player, but they're solid all around, and I could easily see them being a wild card team. And then
yeah, I see it the same way.
Following that, I had the Indians, kind of just middle of the division type team. I don't know. I don't see them doing much. Like maybe a wild card, like, but I don't know. They're just like, I don't know. They're just like a perfect middle of the division type team. I don't really know how else to like describe them. They're not like awful, but they're not good, I guess.
So do you think they're gonna finish like 500?
Yeah, I think about that. Like they kind of remind me of the Phillies almost, or just like
That's
to
fair.
have a few nice pieces like Jose Ramirez, but and then at the bottom I had Royals who are underrated, I think. Like they can maybe I don't know. They just signed who? Salvador Perez to a new extension, right?
Yep.
And they got Carlos Santana, Whit Merrifield. And yeah, and then Tigers, I think the worst team in the American League at the bottom, still a few seasons out from the playoffs. But I'm always gonna root for Miguel Cabrera because
Miggy.
yeah, he's one of my favorite players. It was
Same
cool
here.
to see him hit that home run on opening day, and he slid into second. That was pretty
Oh
fun
yeah.
in the snow.
Hey, I saw him play in real life before.
Really?
Yeah, we went to it was a Pirate game in Detroit in 2017. Dude, Verlander had a no-hitter through like the first 7 innings.
Oh my god.
It was a sick game to go to. I mean, not for me though, because I was a Pirate fan, but it was still cool.
Yeah. Who broke the no hitter? Do you remember?
It was either Josh Harrison or Jordy Mercer.
Oh, okay.
Two of them as random players.
This is random, but is Josh Harrison still on the Pirates or no?
Nope.
He's
He
probably
actually went to the Tigers.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's still there now because I mean he's one of those guys who just like bounces around, but I'm not sure.
He's like Trevor Ariza, basically. No, but I remember Josh Harrison was like one of the most fun players to watch, like back when McCutcheon was there still, and he would do those like the crazy base path like tricks.
I love that.
That was awesome.
Dude, the one against the Mets, I was watching that when it happened live. Dude, I was freaking out.
Which one was that again?
It's like the most popular one where he like just kept going back and forth, like his helmet came off.
Yeah, and all the haters.
And he, like, they said he went out of the baseline.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like incredible to be able to avoid that. I think one of my favorite ones. This is another like bias, but when Pedroia, because he's my favorite all-time player. I don't know. I put it in like the video I did for him, but it was David Ortiz hit like a double in the gap, and he was coming from first, and he was like way out by a mile, and he kind of just like juked the catcher, and the catcher tagged him and dropped the ball, and then he got in safe. It was pretty cool.
Oh, sick.
All right, if you want, we can move on to the next division.
Oh yeah, let me say my piece about the Royals real quick.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
And Indians, because you know I'm a bandwagon. So I was a Royals fan in 2014 and 15.
Really? I didn't know.
Call me. I have family there. I have family there, so that's my excuse for that one. But the Indians, I kind of just bandwagoned on them big time in 2016. I did go to a game that year. I actually saw the Red Sox play.
Cool.
Ortiz did hit a homer that game, but I mean, I used to be a big bandwagon for the AL Central. Apparently.
Wow, I did not know that. I thought you were like a diehard, like lifelong Pirates fan. No idea.
It is what it is.
Yeah. All right, for AL West, I feel like we might have the same team. I don't know.
I don't know. You say yours first.
I had the Astros first place.
I actually had the Los Angeles Angels.
Okay.
I think they're due, but only if Ohtani stays healthy.
Right.
He could be a huge piece because I mean, did you see him? He was pitching and batting second in the same game.
Really? That's
like first guy to do that in like 120 years.
So how is he like pitching? Like I didn't realize he's like all good to pitch now too.
Yeah, this is first year because he was supposed to do it last year, but
And then it was just too much for him. It wasn't worth like his arm. Wasn't he? Didn't he have Tommy John or something?
something like that. He
Yeah.
actually had to leave the first game too because of like a collision at home plate, but I think he's all good.
This year, yeah, dude. Oh,
Yeah, dude,
I
he
know.
hit on his first at bat. He hit like a 450 thing, like deep right field. It was insane.
Wow. That's gonna be cool. I think a lot of the success of the Angels lies on Otani because he's obviously they have like some decent bats. They got like Rendon and Trout, obviously, but I think in terms of pitching, their rotation has always like held them back, and Otani is really they could really use him.
Definitely. I mean, Mike Trout hasn't made the playoffs in like years, has he?
I
If
know,
ever.
I know. I think he's finally gonna get his chance. I had the Astros first, but I think the Angels. I had them second. I think they're gonna be a wild card team, and but just barely surpassing the Athletics. But I think Houston, they had like the off year in 2020. I think they were below 500. They still made the playoffs and made it to the second round. But I think they're going to be back. But it's different now. They have fans in the stands, and I
Did you
don't
see the
know.
trash can thing from the
Yeah,
other
with the
day?
Angels, right? They feel
Yeah.
like inflatable. That's pretty funny. I wrote down like a little joke here saying they lost Springer, but they still got a lot of the talent that brought them so much success. Maybe other than the trash cans, they were banging again. They lost
Oh
those,
my.
but no, in my opinion, I think Houston's still a serious threat. Like they got lots of talent. I know, like Altuve had a down year last year. I don't think they don't have Verlander this season, right? Or was that
I'm not
last?
sure.
I thought he was out, but yeah, you could tell we're casuals. I got no idea, dude. I just figured this would be like a cool thing to talk about because just it's been
Season just started.
yeah. And then at the bottom of this division, I got Mariners and Rangers. I think there's a drop off after the Astros, Angels, and Athletics, just because I don't know they're rebuilding and they're far away from contention in my opinion.
How about the A's right now with the 0 win percentage at 0-5?
They
Or
are.
did I say A's? Or I don't even know.
Oh no,
I
you
said
said
A's, right?
A's. You said A's.
Okay,
I
I thought I said Rays for a second. Yeah, A's. That's
no.
what I'm talking about. Their run differential right now is negative 33.
Oh my god.
It's a couple blowouts. Hold on, let's check their box scores.
I'm gonna pull up the standings too.
All right. Yesterday they lost 10-3 to the Dodgers. Oh, they're playing the Dodgers. That's why.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Who did
Never
they
mind. I'm
play in
such
the
a
first
casual.
series?
I think Houston actually.
Yeah, so they've
Yep.
had some tough competition. So like I guess that's why you can't really base it off the first week. I mean,
Yeah.
eight,
I mean, it looks
eight,
like they had to face Greinke and then also a couple of the Dodgers guys who were studs.
yeah, like the Phillies are 4 now, and like there's no way that's lasting. No offense, Phillies fans.
Mm-mm.
Didn't the Pirates win opening day and they lost 3-3? It's kind of funny.
Yeah. And then they play the Reds tonight. I might be announcing that game on the Colorcast app. Shout out.
Oh, I did. I might have to check that out. What time is that on? 7?
6:40.
6:40? Oh, okay. Okay, so do you want to go over it? I picked like 7 teams who I thought would be like the playoff teams, I guess, for the American League. I wasn't really sure how the MLB was doing it this year because I was reading an article saying the playoffs are like still up in the air in terms of how many teams will make it. They're trying to because usually it's 10 and it's like one team gets a bye and the other two teams are wild card, I think. And then or no, there's one wild card game and then the other two are locked to the division game. But they're thinking of expanding to 16. But then I think after this season they wanted to make it 14. So it's a little bit confusing. But I just picked 7 teams, so I thought would potentially be playoff teams. Who do you think would be yours?
I have 6 written down. I have the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Twins, the White Sox, the Angels, and the Astros. And looking at it here, I think Oakland could probably sneak into maybe the Rays. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I had the same teams. I think Yankees, Astros, White Sox, Blue Jays, Angels, Twins, and then I put a Rays/Red Sox. I don't know. I think whoever gets third place in the AL East is probably going to make it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, because like you said, the AL Central's like pretty weak.
Right. It just I don't know. I think there's just a drop off after the top 2 teams. I mean, maybe the Indians have a hot streak and surprise everyone, but I just think the Rays and Red Sox are both better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Should we move to NL then?
Yeah, one down.
All right, let's get it.
Who did you have first for the NL East?
Now, in my opinion, this is the most stacked division in all of baseball, but I have the Braves coming out on top just because of their bats. I don't know much about their pitching rotation, I'm going to be honest, but like you got Freeman, you got Acuna, you got Osuna, Albies, Swanson.
Exactly. I know
that's a solid batting rotation right there.
I agree. I had them as the top, one of the best lineups. And I think if it wasn't for the NL West, the Braves would probably be the best team in the National League, in my opinion. But I think,
my surprise team. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
All right. I was gonna say my Mets, the Mets are my surprise team because this new GM just seems like he's like taking over. I mean, they already acquired Lindor and like signed him long term.
Exactly.
Made a couple other moves. They haven't played yet, or no? They played one of their games.
Oh yeah, DeGrom pitched. He like 6 innings and no runs. Of course, I know that because I played against him in fantasy. But no, I had that too. I think the Mets like are going to be a very close second. They got a great rotation. They got Lindor. Like they had the bats too. I just think like they're not going to be far off, and I could see them. I wouldn't be surprised if they won this division too. I think they're like a top 5, top 7 team in baseball easily this year.
Yeah, I could go with that. I think that the Marlins are probably going to get last in that division. Just on first glance. I mean, they're kind of going through a rebuild.
I agree. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, and they have some like nice young players that are with them, but I think they should definitely focus on rebuilding and just kind of building up a good team so they can compete for years to come. But yeah, I think they're definitely last. I feel like the Phillies too are 4th place like every season since they were like really good 10 years ago. And I think they're missing a few pieces, and I don't really know the direction they should go in because they have like the good players in their team are getting up there a little bit too.
Hey, stuff went downhill after McCutchen got hurt for them in 2019.
Right.
I don't know how they did in 2020. I didn't really follow baseball last year, but I'm assuming bad.
I think they're like a 4th place team again, like the 75, 80 game. I mean,
500,
60 games, but yeah, like roughly below 500 or about 500. But I think the Nationals I had as 3rd in this division, and I could see them getting in the playoffs. Like I was looking at their team, they still have like the 3-headed monster at their rotation. They got they have Scherzer, Strasburg, and Corbin, and they even have like John Lester too.
They have John Lester.
Yeah, they got.
When
John
did this happen?
I think last offseason he was signed by them. I think after he left the Cubs.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, and they have still a solid lineup too. Like they have Soto, who's obviously an MVP candidate, in my opinion. And I could see them making the playoffs, the wild card team. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
One of the only guys they really lost from their World Series team was Rendon, right?
Exactly. I think I don't even really know who else is on their team, but yeah,
I'm trying to think.
They're good.
I have no clue.
I know that Ryan Zimmerman, but I think he's like past his days. If we were having this conversation like 5 years ago, I would be talking for hours about every player on every team and all their stats. But like, it just shows like you can not follow a sport for a year and lose a lot of your knowledge on it.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened to me. Like I went like full time into football.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm such a competitive like fantasy football player and stuff that I kind of like forgot about like the hockey stuff and the baseball stuff.
Me too. I've been heavily focused on football and basketball recently, but I think that's why I thought about on my channel starting to do some quiz videos. You know, people just like
hell yeah,
quizzes on Sporkle, yeah. Because I want to like show off or see, I guess test my knowledge on some of this like old baseball stuff too, just to see, hey, maybe we could collaborate on some of those. That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, that's literally what I do in like study hall when I have nothing to do in school. I'll just go on Jetpunk and just like start doing NBA quizzes and stuff.
That's so funny. I do that all the time. I'd look up like top 100 NFL players or NBA player quizzes and just fill them out, like see if I can guess them all.
Those are fun.
I know. I love doing those. You want to move on to the NL Central?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I have this as the worst division in baseball.
I agree.
But I do have the Cardinals coming out on top.
Me too.
And there's 2 words why. Nolan Arenado, baby. 3 words. But yeah. Nolan Arenado.
I agree. They have a great lineup. They got Goldschmidt and Arenado like right in the center. And I was looking at their rotation. It seems like pretty solid as well. And as you said before, I think this is easily one of the weaker divisions. There's no like true juggernaut team to kind of lead the way. Like I don't really see a team in this division um going past like the second round of the playoffs, maybe. They're just gonna get beat out by like Dodgers, Padres, Braves, or Mets, in my opinion. But
I agree with that.
I had a last second switch for the order of this division. I had the Cubs second and Brewers third, but I actually moved the Reds up to second. I think they do get overhyped at times, and I could be overhyping them right now by saying they're gonna finish in second. But I think they have the pieces to potentially like push them to a wild card spot. It wouldn't surprise me. They have a good rotation. They got Castillo and Sonny Gray. And they also have some good bats as well. Like those seem like power bats, you know.
Honestly, I'll put them third. Just they lost Trevor Bauer, who was like one of the main reasons why they made the playoffs last year. But I mean, they still are a good team, and they can still sneak in there.
Dude, I totally forgot Trevor Bauer like on their team. He was like amazing last year.
Yeah, he won Cy Young.
Right. I have a, but yeah, I would have Cubs right after them and Brewers. The Cubs and Brewers are kind of interchangeable for me. They're just like solid teams, but I don't know. I don't see them doing much. Maybe the Cubs if like Bryant can stay healthy and they have Ian Happ too. I could see the Cubs grabbing a wild card spot, but I don't see the Brewers making the playoffs. Like even if Yelich bounces back to his MVP self, like I don't think they got anything too special going for them.
The reason why I had the Cubs not winning this is because they did lose some of their pitchers, like you said, Lester, and then I think they also lost Darvish in the offseason or traded him.
Yeah. I had sorry about this, but I had the Pirates as fifth in this division.
Believable.
A big reason why I think this is one of the worst divisions in the league. No offense, but as of right now, I think the Pirates are probably the worst team in the MLB. I guess the Orioles and Tigers are right there with them.
I would put the Orioles and Tigers, maybe Red Sox in that range too.
Whoa. Red Sox is a stretch. Red Sox.
Look at last season. Maybe Texas Rangers, throw them down there
Oh,
too.
Rangers and Mariners, I guess. I think Pirates and Tigers are the two worst teams right now. But I don't know. They could surprise me this season. They got to win on opening day. You know, you never know.
Hey, they look good in that game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a bold prediction right now. Richard Rodriguez will make the All-Star game if he can close enough games. Because he doesn't get the chances.
Right. Oh, because they're usually down by like what? What are they usually down by in the ninth?
They're usually down by a lot at the end of the games, but he is the closer.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing when we had Felipe Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like he closed the games and stuff, but did he really get the chance? Like maybe one time per series.
Exactly. That's like when you're a good player, but you're not really getting the chance. It's almost like Sam Darnold, where it's like you don't know someone's potential until they're put in like a better system.
Yeah, for real. Hey, speaking of Sam Darnold, my video did pop off.
Really?
By the way, yeah, it has like 800.
Oh my gosh, like a day.
Yeah, it popped off, dude.
That's crazy. You posted it right at the right time.
For real.
Yeah, I think Padres Pirates are a few years away from probably a playoff spot, but they have Hayes, who's gonna be a nice piece. I think he's injured right now though, right?
He hurt his wrist sliding back to first.
Oh, that's tough. But yeah, I think that I don't know. And I think they're the worst team, but I don't know. It's kind of hard
I don't
to
know about worst team, but like bottom five for sure.
Yeah, bottom five. I can't really classify a worst team. I just maybe National League worst team. Them or the Rockies.
That's fair.
But yeah, I guess because you could throw in the Rangers, Mariners, Orioles, and Tigers into their tier. And then for NL West, who did you have as your top team?
Top team, that's pretty obvious. We have the Dodgers, but then Padres, I got them making the wild card.
Me too. I think Dodgers best team.
You got the Dodgers. They won the World Series last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Let me double check that. I had to double check. But they got even better. They acquired Trevor Bauer in the offseason. Some of their young players are gonna develop even further.
Right.
Then you got the Padres, who had like a giant offseason.
I know.
They got Blake Snell, Clevenger.
I got you,
Darvish, Joe Musgrove from my Pirates.
Oh, he was on the Pirates. I didn't know that. I got him on my fantasy team this year.
Oh, yo, I don't know if this was fake or not, but is Tatis Jr. actually out like 4 months?
Is that legit?
I think I saw something this morning. I don't know if it was from a troll page or not, but I'm gonna have to double check this right now.
I'm gonna look. I don't know. I'm just looking up all sports news on Instagram. I don't
Oh, yo, yeah, he's hurt, dude. Shoulder.
How long is he out for?
They don't have a timetable on here, but
Does it appear like bad? Like how did it happen? In a game or
it
no?
says he struck out and he injured his shoulder, like in the swinging motion, I guess. Let's see the video.
That's not good.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. He just got paid big bucks too.
Yeah, what did he get? Like 13 years, like 3 to 30 million or something crazy like that?
Something crazy like that. One of the highest contracts ever. Oh yeah, I just watched it, dude. He struck out and just like his shoulder must have like popped out of place.
Wow. I'm a
Might
big
need
fan.
surgery.
Yeah,
I am too.
that wouldn't be ideal. I'm a big fan of those types of contracts. I guess
Oh, yo, can you give me 1 second? My mom's calling me.
yeah, it's all good.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh
There's
no.
an emergency. No, I'm kidding. 3 people tested positive at my school though.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's why she's calling.
Dude, it's everywhere now.
For real.
The vid.
All right, so is it recording?
Yeah, I just left it going.
All right, are we talking NL West still?
Yeah, we were talking about the Padres and the Dodgers, kind of their competition at the top of the NL West. I think the Dodgers, as the best team in the MLB, they're the favorite to win the World Series. They got the loaded lineup, loaded rotation, and I guess the Padres are going to be right up there with them. And I think it kind of stinks. They're in like the worst position because they're going to have to be a wild card team because they're behind the Dodgers. Just like that sole fact, but I think they'd probably be first in any other division. That could be a bold
Oh, I
statement,
agree with that.
yeah. And then
Hey, if they were in the Pirates division, they would for sure be first.
oh yeah, I agree. And probably the AL Central as well. And then I got the Giants in third. I was looking over the team, like their team has not changed like at all.
I agree with. Yeah, I have them in third too.
Maybe the pitchers, but I was looking like they still got Buster Posey, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford. I know Evan Longoria's like only been there for a couple seasons, but still like their whole team is just veterans all around. But
It's probably the same from when I saw them. I saw them play in 2019. Went to a game at Miller Park against the Brewers.
that's cool.
I was on like a big tour. They shout out Mike Yastrzemski.
Did you get to meet him or something?
No, I just like him.
Oh, I got to see a Giants game. I think it was 2017 at their park. I forget what it's called, but it was just one of like the nicest.
Oh, Oracle.
Is that the Giants one?
I think.
It could
I don't
be.
know.
Yeah, I forget, but it was super nice. Like you got a view of the bay and everything. Like I loved it.
That's gonna be sick if I go there someday. I heard it was like one of the best like stadiums in the league.
Yeah, they had like a giant glove, and then I think it was a giant like
Coke bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, and then the cool like right field wall is all brick, and then you can.
Oh yeah, McCovey Cove in the back too.
You can hit home runs into the bay. It's very cool. The water's like bright blue.
Hey, I'll come up to Boston one day.
Yeah, you got to check out Fenway, dude.
I'll come up to the Green Monster.
I want monster seats. Like that's one of my dreams. Never sat in the monster.
Are those like the most expensive ones?
Usually, not the most expensive. I think the ones behind home plate are, but monster seats are usually like pretty exclusive because it's like only 5-6 rows. I think there, maybe less. There's not much though up there. I've gone to like stand up there and watch part of a game. It was pretty cool because Bogarts hit a home run like off one of the light towers just when I went up to go check it out. Like just to that moment, it was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely want to get monster seats someday.
That's cool though, because like at PNC Park, there's no really like iconic place to sit at. I mean, there's the Clemente wall. I've actually never sat there before, surprisingly. I've been up there though, like during batting practice and stuff. I usually just sit in the outfield and stuff. Clemente wall is right field, yeah.
Oh right, I know. I'm picturing does it have all the
It's exactly 20 feet, or it's exactly 21 feet high for Roberto.
Oh, okay.
Scoreboard's in like center, like over the ivy.
Yeah.
Or no, scoreboard's in left.
Oh,
The ivy's in the center.
I'm just trying to picture the field again. But you guys had like the bridge in the background, right?
Usually yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice park.
It'd be even better if it was filled. It's never even half capacity.
Oh yeah.
even without COVID,
Oh yeah, because I don't know. That's
because we
like the nice
suck.
thing though. You can go to a baseball game for cheap.
I got free tickets once. That was fun.
Really?
hmm
That's awesome. Um, yeah, getting back to our standings, I'm sure we both agree on this, but Diamondbacks and Rockies are bottom of the division.
100%.
And I didn't really have too much to say about these teams. It's kind of hard to compete when you literally have the top two teams in the league in your division. And then I literally I had one note about the Rockies. I'm glad they're finally embracing the rebuild, but I think they should trade away Trevor Story to see what value they can get for him because he's just going to be wasting his career there.
I got two quick things for each of those teams. Arizona, shout out to my guy, Sterling Marte. And then Colorado, when do you think Charlie Blackmon is going to retire? Do you think he's
How old is he? Like
already?
33 or something?
I can check, but I mean, do you think he's just wasting years, or do you think he could go ring chase maybe?
Yeah, that's what I think. I feel like that's not as common in the MLB. I feel like, in my opinion, there's a lot more loyalty in the MLB than any other league. Um, I think Blackman could be just stay with the Rockies, or I don't know when his contract expires or whatever he's on right now. But I could see him going like to a contending team. Like he'd definitely help all the Red Sox or the Pirates too, probably.
He is 34.
Okay, so he's probably got
And
like
speaking of veterans, we signed Todd Frazier, and he didn't even make the major league roster.
really.
He is at the alternate training site or whatever it's called.
How does he not make the league? Didn't he hit 30 home runs like 2 years ago?
Yep. Hey, I love Todd Frazier too. I mean, even when he was on the Reds, he was one of my favorite Reds.
Yeah, he won the home run derby, right? One of those
Yep.
years. That's probably like 5, 6 years ago now, but crazy how time flies.
Also, Blackman's contract is up after the 2023 season.
Oh, okay. So maybe if
He could just retire.
he could, or he could maybe sign like on one last contract, like if the Dodgers are still popping, or I don't know.
Hey, that'd be sick.
The Red Sox would have probably won a World Series by then, so maybe he'll join them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Who did you have it? So who would you have like your 7 playoff teams for the National League?
Here, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have Braves and Mets, Cardinals, Dodgers and Padres.
Yeah.
And then looking at it here now, I think possibly the Reds could sneak in, like we were talking about.
Right.
Maybe the Brewers, though. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Washington Nationals could be a wild card in there too.
Yeah, I had that same group. Obviously, Dodgers, Padres, Braves, Mets, Cardinals, but then I think Nationals and Reds will be those 2 teams that may surprise people. Did you want to get into just quick or like briefly about the MLB and the league rules about banning the shift and universal DH and your take on that?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I have some interesting takes for this one. It's going to surprise you.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I say we talk about the shift first. So do you want to go ahead and say what you had for that?
Okay, so I put a few notes. I think for people who aren't in favor of MLB, like think they shouldn't ban the shift, a lot of like the main claims of that, like they should force hitters to adapt. Kind of, if you're the best like hitters in the world, like you should be able to adapt and hit to the opposite field. And I guess people like the idea of incorporating more strategy to the game, where it's like hitters have to decide where to hit it, and then fielders have to decide how to like align themselves. And then I feel like it would also be a little hard to implement um, where to kind of hold players within on the field. You know what I mean? Because beforehand, like some players would shift over a little bit, like just to like up the middle and whatnot. Like how can you really define like where like the line of where players can be? And then for people in favor of banning the shift, I think it kind of ruins the fun for some players and fans because you just know half the time like Dave Ortiz or I don't know whoever else is gonna hit it to right field every time. So it's almost like an automatic out, and like people just want to see more hits and more runs being scored, and it kind of forces like these players to swing for the fences because they're also just going to be out. So I think, but in my opinion, though, I don't think the MLB should ban the shift. I think it'd be too hard to implement it, and I kind of like the idea of forcing hitters to adapt a little bit. Although I don't know, I wish it was just like a limit as to how absurd they can get.
Yeah. Now I have that they shouldn't ban the shift either, but honestly, I would prefer teams to play straight up. But the game is just evolving. Like, what are you going to do about it? I mean,
Exactly.
I'll give you a comparison here to the NBA charging. That has become a lot more common in the last couple of years
Right.
because the game has evolved in that type of way. So that's what it's going to be like with shifts, basically, for the MLB. But I think they should eliminate one shift, and that is having 4 outfielders because that eliminates positions, in my opinion.
That's true. Yeah. I didn't even know why would teams do. You mean like at the end of games when they're trying to prevent runs or something? Just having four outfielders?
Yeah, that literally eliminates, like, I mean, you would have left center, right center. Like,
Yeah. And I guess I don't know.
that's a peewee thing.
Yeah. But I like the idea too of like the field making players like prove it, like hit it to the opposite field so that we don't have to use the shift. I don't know. It's just cool to see like straight up baseball being played. And it's weird seeing the shift like that because it just doesn't, it's not even like baseball at that point. But I just think it kind of be too much of a challenge to implement, you know. What's your take on having universal DH?
This one could go both ways, honestly, for me. Like, I would prefer them to either take away the universal DH for the AL or add it for the NL, just so both divisions, or what are they, conferences,
Uh, what are they called? I guess just leagues.
leagues, yeah, just so that the American and National League are like on the same page. Like, I think it kind of is unfair that the AL can have an extra hitter and the NL can't.
Right. That makes
But
sense.
if they're not going to do that, then what I think they should do for the NL is allow teams to have a DH for one of the games per every series.
That's a cool idea.
I think that would spice things up.
Yeah, 'cause it's almost like when you're playing backyard football and it's like you can only blitz on one of the four downs. It's just kind of like when teams are going to use it. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but
No, I get what you're saying.
yeah, I think the MLB should have a universal DH. I feel like I'm a big supporter of it. I think it gives more players an opportunity to play every day too, because you figure like the pitcher is taking away a player's chance to get up to hit like 3 or 4 times or 5 times a game. I think it's cool to see pitchers hit once in a while, but I feel like 95% of the time they're just an automatic out. And it's almost like, what's the point of them being up there? Like they're also just risking potentially getting injured on the base pass too. So I think just having universal DH is better. And obviously fans love seeing more runs scored and more home runs. And I was also thinking back to like, we could have never seen some legends like David Ortiz if pitchers were hitting like universally too. But one thing, if the MLB is to have a universal DH, I'd want to see a pitcher home run derby in All-Star game or like All-Star weekend, whatever they do.
That
If
would
they're
be
gonna go
sick.
universal, yeah, like Madison Bumgarner and Zach Greinke and stuff like that would be cool. That's what I think they should do.
I was gonna say Bumgarner is like one of the better hitting pitchers I've ever seen. I think Wainwright is pretty good
Oh,
too.
Wainwright too. Yeah, that's who it was.
Joe Musgrove honestly wasn't that bad either.
Really? Did he hit any home runs?
Not like homers, but he honestly would get like a hit a game, like
Wow. And
on the
Bartolo,
Pirates at least, anyways.
yeah,
Yeah,
Bartolo.
he was on them cheating Astros too.
Oh, he was. Oh, actually,
Yeah,
I remember that.
he was a rookie, and then they traded him for Garrett Cole.
Wow, it'd be cool to see Bartolo Colon too in a home run derby. It'd be funny
Love
to
that
see.
guy.
Yeah. So do you have anything else to say about anything?
I'll add one thing to the University DH conversation.
All right.
If the Pirates had a DH this year, it would be Gregory Polanco because that dude is a giraffe. He cannot field a ball to save his life in right field. He is the slowest outfielder I've ever seen, and he's the Grant Williams of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, wow. Just you
I'm
really
just gonna
really
go
put
in
that
on
out
one
there.
player per episode.
That you always gotta have one rant thrown in there. How
One
long?
rant.
How long has Polanco been around?
He's the longest tenured Pirate, and it's been since 2014.
That's what I thought, dude. Because I remember him being a rookie, and he was like pretty like well looked after, I guess, for as a prospect.
He was a good hitter back then. He's never really been a good fielder, honestly.
Wow. Yeah. So if you have nothing else to say, I'm all good too. We can wrap up episode
Yep, I'm good.
podcast. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Go check out our links in the description, and see you next Wednesday. Peace out.